to Sunday Synth Chat. This is something I hope to do weekly. I'll just talk about a topic of interest to me and hopefully to you related to possibly synthesizers, hopefully synthesizers, or just whatever happens to be on my mind. But I just want to hang out in the studio and talk a little bit. Hopefully you will participate in the conversation by joining in the comments below. So let's get started. I was thinking today about creativity and why do I like to be creative or try to be creative. I'm not saying I'm a creative person, but what is it about being creative that appeals to me? Well, the first thing is I work in a bank. So I work in the banking industry. Probably not what I would have chosen as a younger person, but I kind of fell into it, and I've been able to stick with it. I've had some great opportunities. So that's what I'm in. There's a lot of math in what I do in my particular role, and there's a lot of black and white. There are a lot of rules and guidelines. You got to stay in between. You got to stay in your lane, basically. There's just not a whole lot of room for being creative when it comes to banking. I will say that if you get creative with banking, oftentimes you end up in jail. So it's not a good place to try your hand at being creative. But there's almost all. I mean, if it's 2 and 2 is 5, that's wrong. 2 and 2 is 4, that's right. So there's no room, at least in what I do, for just being creative, just, starting a process and letting it take shape and working it and seeing where it comes out. It doesn't work that way. So that's why I really enjoy the world of music in my particular case, but art in general. There are rules. There are things that you should and shouldn't do. But there's a lot of open space to work in. So being creative for me, a part of it is just, therapy of having to spend all day with this set of rules and guidelines and then being able to get away from that. And a bank loan, for example, if somebody goes in for a bank loan, that loan is going to be roughly the same no matter where they get the loan at a bank. So whereas if 5 of us own the Op 6, for example, we're going to have 5 different uses for it. Generally, it's the same. We're going to make music. Most likely going to make music. But I mean, even that's not a rule. You don't have to make music with a synthesizer. You can do other things with it. But point being, while this is the same when it comes out of the box for each of us, we all have choices about what we're going to do with that from here on out. Some way to express what's in our minds and in our hearts and what we want to communicate to other people. These are tools that we can use, and there really is no right or wrong with how you use them. Obviously, they have built-in guidelines. There's things you can't do with one, but that's what is cool to me about having a little bit of a studio space here in the basement. Even just setting up the lights and setting up the keyboards a certain way. I mean, there's creativity even involved in that, and so I just really enjoy that, and that's what I wanted to share today. What's the appeal to me about being creative, and it's an escape from all of the rigidity of what I do every day, and an opportunity to communicate with people in a different way, communicate with folks who have common interests to me. Typically don't spend any time outside of my work talking to people about banking. Like, that's just not what I'm going to do. So anyway, that's today's topic, creativity. So why is it important to you? If it is, why is it important to you to be creative? I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Throw them down in the comments if you get a chance. Now, interestingly, I can also spend a lot of time in the studio trying to make things work that either are going to work or they're not. There's no there's no creativity when it comes to trying to get this recording or streaming setup put together correctly. It's been a slow process. It has not gone well. I'm still working on trying to get anything else to pipe into this system. Like right now this is on, it's working, but it's not coming in into the recording software. So that's still an area of black and white and rules, because if you don't do it right, it doesn't work. So I'm still trying to work through that. But anyway, that's about it from me for this Synth Sunday conversation. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you'll leave some comments below about, what does your creative process look like? Why is it important to you? Hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you in the next one.